Hey everyone, this is Brian from ActiveMelody.com. Well, this week we're going to be taking a look at a Freddie King inspired lead, and I'm going to show you how to play everything that I played in the intro, note for note. Now I've split this video into two parts, so in this video we're going to take a look at part one. But if you want to look at part two and download the tablature and the jam track for this lesson, which you'll need all three if you really want to learn how to play everything, just go to ActiveMelody.com and look for EP050. That's the lesson number for this Freddie King inspired lesson. So let's go ahead and get started. Now we are in the key of B, and so this is the 7th fret here on the fretboard. The two dots you can see on the neck, that's the 12th fret. And the only reason I mention that is for two reasons. One, you can't see the entire neck because I've got a tight shot, because most of what we're playing is up here high in the neck. But the other reason I mention it is the 7th fret is our root fret. And the root fret is important to know, because that's where, when you play blues scales like the minor pentatonic scale, you need to know where your root fret is so that you can play pattern one. You can play all those little lead licks. They kind of come out of this knowing where the root fret is. That becomes home base, really. So if you're not familiar with the root fret, be sure to check out the blues lead course at Active Melody. I go into a lot of detail as to what that is and why that's important in that course. But alright, so the structure of this in this first part is there's kind of a call and response thing that happens. So I listened to a lot of Freddie King instrumentals to get inspired for this, and I noticed he would do this a lot back in his early days of his career. He would play these kind of like little blues shuffles where he would do a call. The best way I can describe it is a call and response. The call would be, and the response would be something like that. So one part is kind of defining almost a rhythm part, and the other part is defining a lead part. Now it's all technically lead. You're not playing any chords when you're doing that. But by going, you're almost doing what the bass player would do. So hopefully you can see what I mean philosophically when I say call and response. And you'll see that I do that a lot in my playing. I actually like that style a lot, defining something, responding to it, going back to it. I've learned to do that because I've played by myself for so long. I used to be in bands when I was younger, but I haven't been in a band in a long time. So when you sit around the house and play an acoustic guitar or whatever by yourself, you end up doing this sort of style. And I'm sure that's probably where Freddie learned to do that as well. I'm not sure, but so anyway, let's break down the notes now. For 7th fret, so we're going to start on the 6th string on the 7th fret, which is that low note there. And so what I'm going to do is go. Now, what I'm doing, I'm starting on the 7th fret 6th string, doing 2 of those. Now I'm going to take my ring finger and I'm going to come up here to the 9th fret 4th string. Okay, now it's important to use your ring finger for that, because then I'm going to take my middle finger and I'm going to come down here to the 5th fret on the 9th, or sorry, the 5th string on the 9th fret, and play that note. So you have, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to come down here to the 7th fret 4th string and play 2. 1, 2, and then back to the 9th fret 5th string and play 2. 1, 2. So let's put all that together. I'll do it slowly. And you can see what you've done there. That's a loopable piece. Now, if you're new to this style of playing and you don't feel comfortable moving beyond that, that's okay. Actually, this would be a great thing to do with a jam track, is just get that rhythm down until you get comfortable with it. Now, the only challenge I can think of to point out is going from Switch, right here on the 9th fret, going from that 4th string to the 5th string, between those two fingers, just because it's kind of a tight squeeze maybe to get those fingers in there the first time you do it. You'll get comfortable with it over time, but that's the first part. That's sort of the B part. Now you come to the E part, which would be the second chord, and then you go. Now the beauty of this is you're taking exactly what you just did here, but you're shifting everything up one set of strings. So you're staying within the same frets. You've just moved everything up a set of strings. So now you're starting on the 5th string, 7th fret, and you're doing the same pattern. Then you come up here to the the 3rd string rather, on the 9th fret. So you have. Now notice I'm just showing the call part of this, and then I'll show you the response in a minute, but I'm just showing you the rhythm part, I guess. I think once you get that, it's important to start with that, to get that down first, and then I'll show you how to work in the little lead parts. So, okay. So just practice that first. Now notice the picking with the right hand. I'm doing a lot of downstrokes for that. In fact, I'm doing all downstrokes. Now you could go down, up, but I think when you're doing that kind of style, for me it's easier to just do everything in a downstroke, and I'm not really sure why. I think it's because you have a little more control over the consistency of it. If you're doing downs and ups, it's not going to have the same feel. That's maybe the best way to describe it, but I would recommend just doing downstrokes for those. That's just the way I do it. Now, you may find it's easier to do a down-up alternate pick on some of those, but I think it's just easier to do straight downstrokes. Okay, so first time through, you go. Now, right after that, I follow it up with. So let me do that again. Do it again. Now, what I'm doing is, you've just learned the rhythm part. Now let me show you the lead part, or the response part, rather. I know it's all lead, but you get the terminology here. So the response part would be starting on the 9th fret with my ring finger, 3rd string. I do a full bend. Then I come down and go. So I start with a full bend. Then I come down and play 9th fret, 7th fret on the 3rd string. Both of those on the 3rd string. That's on the 9th fret, 4th string. And then I'm going to go 7th fret, 3rd string with some vibrato. And then I'm going to end on the 9th fret, 4th string. So all together we have. See how it fits in there? So it's just right after you do those two, 5th fret, 9th string, 5th string, 9th fret. Got to get it in order. Right after you do those two is when you go. Okay, so that's the first time. Now the second time through, I went pretty close to what I did the first time, little variation on it. And that I got straight out of Freddie King playbook. He does a lot of these little licks like that. And so what I'm doing, again, 9th fret, 3rd string. You do the first, you start it by doing a full bend. Then you come down and play just the 9th fret, 3rd string. Now I do this hammer-on between the 7th fret and the 9th fret on the 3rd string like this. So it's. and then back to the 7th fret 3rd string, and then back to the 9th fret 4th string. So now watch the picking hand. So it's actually, I do alternate pick that. I do down up. Okay, so let's put those two pieces together now. So what we have so far, we have notice how quickly I went. That's going to be challenging, and if you have to skip one of those, you know how I'm kind of doing those double notes? If you don't have enough time to play both of them, that's okay. Just skip it wherever, because you got to keep in mind you'll have the jam track that's playing in the background, and that'll be covering a lot of stuff. It sounds you sound very naked when you're doing it on your own like this, but that's why playing with a jam track is so important. It simulates being in a band. If you're playing with a full band, you can fudge it a little bit. You don't have to be super accurate with that stuff. When you're playing by yourself, you don't have a lot of room for error with that. You know, skipping notes like that. It sounds kind of obvious. Okay. So those are the first two times. Now the second time we go to the E part and we go, which I just showed you. Same thing as before. It's just they're up a set of strings. And now the lead part of this was. I love that. And for that, I'm starting on the 9th fret 3rd string with my ring finger, and I'm sliding up to the 11th fret on the 3rd string. And then, okay, so that's the first thing that happens. Now I take my middle finger, and then I go to the 10th fret 2nd string. So you have, I should point out, everything we're doing here, if you're familiar with pattern 1 of the minor pentatonic scale, rather, which is all those licks come out of that pattern, and when I do this and slide up here, I'm kind of sliding into pattern 2. So so make sure you reference that from the blues lead course, and you'll see, oh, okay, I see where that is. I see why when Freddie King plays a lick like that, that's where it's coming from. That's important, because if you want to take these licks, see, this is the goal is not to just memorize this stuff note for note. The goal is to take these licks and then apply them to your own playing. And so if you're playing something in the key of E or B or G, it doesn't matter. You can pull these out of your library, your mental library, your vocabulary, if you think of it that way, and you can use these new words that you're learning. Okay, so sliding up just like that. Now I'm going to slide back down. So I'm going to start on the 11th fret 3rd string, slide down to the 9th fret. As soon as I hit it, I slide. So we have, sorry. Now we're back to the 7th fret 3rd string. Then we're going to do some vibrato on the 9th fret 3rd string. And then I go. So. And for that, I just go 7th fret, 3rd string, 9th fret, 4th string. Okay, so let me put that in context. So now we have. Got it? The timing of that's just, it's got to be dead on. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then after that, you're back. Now, before I move on, let me put those 3 parts. I think each one is like its own little part. Let me put them together so you have everything in reference. I'll do it slowly. We have. Alright, so then we come back to the B part, and this time I went. And so this part you should have down. And then the lead part for this was. Now I'm starting again on the 9th fret, 3rd string, and I'm going to do a bend. I'm going to do a full bend and then release it and play just the 9th fret, 3rd string. You should be familiar with that. We've done that a few times now. Now what's different is I go, and it's a real quick little trill thing that goes, sounds like that up to speed. But what I'm doing is I got my pointer finger down on the 7th fret, 3rd string, and I do a hammer on and then pull off, and then another hammer on, and all that happens with the left hand, the left hand, not the right hand. The right hand picks it once. You can see I'm just picking it once, but I'm going, doing that whole motion with my left hand, and it's really just a bounce with my ring finger. So it starts 7th fret, 3rd string, 9th fret, 3rd string, release. So when I pull my finger off, I do a pull off and I kind of flick the string. And then I do another hammer on to the 9th fret, 4th string to get that little trill. And after that, then I play 7th fret, 3rd string, then back to the 9th fret, 4th string. Okay, so all together it's. And after you get it fluid, it sounds. And by the way, once you get that technique down, you'll use that technique a lot. I use it, and so you can start to see where you could apply it in other areas. So when you're playing leads and you want a real fast little run, that's a real nice way to get there. I always say I'm not a very fast guitar player. Because I've always had a hard time with the coordination between my left hand and right hand and getting that picking and fretting stuff in perfect sync, and I've never been super fast at that, but I've always been able to make up for it by doing things like that. And you'll see that after you practice that for, even if you're brand new to this, give it 20 minutes of just doing it, and you'll be able to play something pretty close. Okay. So let's put it all together. Alright, so now we come to the F sharp chord, which goes. And then after that, you're back to the E. And what's nice about this is it's the same lick that you just shift everything down a couple of frets. So you're going to learn it once, and then you'll be able to do both of those chords. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on the 9th fret, 5th string. I'm going to play that twice. Now I'm going to come up here and I'm going to bar the first 4 strings on the 11th fret. Although I'm only going to play strings 3 and 2. Like that. So you're doing that. Now, the reason I barred the first 4 strings was because after I play strings 3 and 2 on the 11th fret, I'm going to go ahead and play the 4th string on the 11th fret. So it sounds like this. Now, after I play that, then I'm going to go ahead and bar the first 3 strings on the 9th fret, and I'm going to play strings 2 and 3 again. So that's what we have thus far. Now to wrap that up, I just take my ring finger and I play the 11th fret, 4th string. Just play that note. And when you put it all together, I'll do it slowly. You have. Does this sound nice? So you can start to see where if you did a little bend, you could take that somewhere else if you wanted to. But anyway, that's what I played there. And now so that's for the F sharp part. Now if you slide everything down 2 frets, you're going to be playing that same lick, but it's going to represent the E part of the song. So now after that, we're back to the little the little B part, and then I played for the turnaround. I just went, and all I did there was I barred the first 3 strings on the 7th fret. I played starting with string 3, did a hammer on there between the 7th fret and the 8th fret on the 3rd string, like that. My middle finger doing the hammer on. Now keep that bar in place, because I'm going to play string 2, which is on the 7th fret. So you have, after you play that note, take your middle finger and come up here and play the 9th fret 5th string. And then after that, I'm going to take my middle finger, my pointer finger, index finger, is going to come to the 8th fret 4th string while this is still down. Your middle finger's down. And then my ring finger goes to the 3rd string on the 9th fret. So you have this. You have that little chord there, which is really just it's an F sharp 7th chord. But you're playing it up here with these 3 strings. It's the same pattern as the D7th pattern. If you learn to play D7th in first position, same little shape, I guess. But you're doing it up here. So you're only playing strings 5, 4, and 3. And that's the turnaround chord, or your F sharp chord, F sharp 7th chord. And I gave it a little bit of a vibrato, so I went. So if you're wanting to practice this turnaround, just do that. Over and over again. And if you can't do the vibrato, if that's too much to try and do vibrato over a chord, then just skip it. You can do that as well. You don't have to. That's just a style thing. Okay, so let me put it all together. What we have is, I'll do it slowly. We have. Now you're ready right at that point to go into part 2, which if you want to see part 2, make sure you go to activemelody.com and look for EP050, and I'll break down all of part 2.